All right, so in this episode, we're going to look at how to work on two blogs at the exact same time simultaneously. So if you've got kind of two ideas that you're trying to work on and work through, and you're trying to figure out how do I work on these at the same time without burning myself out, I'm going to give you some insight on how to work through this process. So stay tuned in this episode. All right, we all have a ton of ideas and we usually have multiple passions. For example, some people like yoga and chess and running with their dog and fitness and that kind of thing. And that's already multiple areas of interest. For me, for example, I have a couple of different websites, one of them in the financial space, one of them here on the online business space, and a few other business related things. So there's always multiple avenues that you might be exploring if you're trying to develop your own blog, business, and that kind of thing. And it's just because we all have multiple interests. Now, if you're trying to start a blog-based business and you're trying to create a blog and you've got multiple things you want to go with, I always look at what stages are we going to go through. I have a couple of main stages, and here we have planning, websites, products, and traffic. I'd say those are kind of the big things. Keep in mind when I'm talking about let's say the website, I'm also talking about content. So there's things that could go under here. When I'm talking about products, I could be also referring to services and that kind of thing. And when we're looking at traffic, it could also mean ads. But at a base level, how do we do and work on two blogs at the exact same time? Let's just look at kind of these four main components. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this will give you kind of an idea of how you might want to structure this. So here's our time frame and timeline, and this is kind of the way that we'll look at it is just in a timeline view or fashion. So what we want to do is I'll just show you a basic idea here. Let's say we're looking to plan out our website. And let's just start with kind of the first one. So here I am planning this first one out. And before even the plan might be fully done, I could already start working on the website itself. Now that website might take a bit of time. And before even the website's done, I could also start working on products depending on what the plan is. So the website might be done before the products are fully done and complete. And I could slowly start working on some traffic before the products are fully done. Now, this is kind of a personal take of how you stagger these. Some people say, hey, I'm going to wait on the traffic and focus on the traffic a little bit later. Other people want to focus on the products once the website's done. I think if you have a team and hired help, you could work on them kind of simultaneously like this. You could see there's a little bit of an overlap here. If you're doing it on your own, sometimes it's nice to switch gears as well, working on other things rather than the same thing over and over again. Again, that's just a personal take and preference. But how do you ramp this up to maybe like a second blog or website? Well, from the planning stage, you probably are planning kind of at the same time. I would say plan those things at the exact same time, because then what you could do is see how they overlap and overlay, and it may save you some time. The website, though, I wouldn't start the second website till the first one is pretty much done, like 90%. And the reason for that is if you got a team or hired help, if they didn't pan out or do a good job on the first one, you might need to hire a different person on the second one. Or maybe you just had a bunch of issues on the first one and you don't want those same second issues on the second one. So get kind of that stage mostly done. I would say probably get it to about 90%. Complete, and that'll be a lot better off. If you're waiting to 100% complete, then you might not really need to do that because the website's really never done. If you're waiting, only 10%, it's probably not far enough to really see glitches or issues or errors. So get most of the way there, and then you could start getting into the next one. Then as you're looking at products, it's the same thing. Develop a couple of products first on the first website so you know how the product development goes. And then you could start building out some more products here. Or, once that website's kind of there, moving along, you could go a little bit after that. So it's hard to really determine an exact time frame of when to start, but you don't want to do it too early because you've got all these other products right here that you're going to be working on. So somewhere, lining up in the middle of this to there is kind of where you'll start working on that, those products or services or putting them up. And the traffic, again, the same thing, just a little bit overlapped, maybe over there. And that's just to try and get things done a little faster, right? Of course, you could wait till each step is 100% done. But sometimes then you're not taking advantage of things early on. Because the really big point and picture is You really want to get things done as fast as possible or as soon as possible. But if you start them too soon and too early, you're going to have glitches, maybe errors on the second website that you've had on the first one. So it's your point in starting it a little later is to try and avoid that. But if you wait till the project's 100% done and then start the next website, the other issue is that you could have been developing and letting it cook and marinate, kind of letting search engine robots scan it and that kind of thing, letting that presence be out there maybe an extra month or two sooner. Now, how long of these timeframes, how long should they be? It's going to vary, right? If your planning stage takes a week, then it takes a week. If it takes a month, it takes a month. If your website development stage is a 2-week process, that's great. If it's a 2-month process, well, then that's just what it takes. So your time frame is going to be a little different, but what I'm showing you here is the overlap that's going to happen as you're going into this whole creation stages. And what you'll find is with time, as this loops back, you'll have, you'll come back and you'll work on more website stuff and you'll do more product development again. That's just what's going to happen. And then you'll loop back maybe again and you'll do some more planning and so forth. It's just part of the time frame and timeline that's going to happen as your business evolves. So these things will just continue to re-loop back to, the beginning or kind of step one. So anyways, I hope that helps and gives you some insight into how you could work on 2 blog businesses and 2 blog websites simultaneously and move things along as you progress forward. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. Hope you check out some of the freebies we have on our website at backstageincome.com. Just click the link here or scroll down in the description below. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.